2015.
Nice.
All right.
Rolling.
Hello, folks. Tonight we're looking at a beer that's going on 30 years from, I believe, 1988. I know that's when the company was founded. It's Goose Island's 312 Urban Wheat Ale. 312 being the area code for the phone, the telephone area code for where the brewery was founded in Chicago on Goose Island as an actual island. This company was bought by Anheuser-Busch in 2011, 5 years ago, and people keep asking me, do you think it's gone downhill since they got bought out? I said, I don't know, because I never tried a Goose Island beer until after the buyout. We never got Goose Island until about 3 years ago. It didn't exist down here.
Mm-hmm.
It was very limited. Now it's becoming so common.
Got to be in every state almost. If not.
We get the IPA, the Honkers Ale, and this beer, and that's about it.
Yeah, we get the 4-star pills, the 312 Urban Wheat, the 312 Pale Ale. We get the what's that? What's the one we were talking about, Eric? The
Goose IPA.
We get the Goose IPA, of course.
Excellent, the best in my opinion.
And the Honkers Ale. And I think we get some other little specialty beer. Has anyone not ever had this beer before?
I think I've had it once many, many years ago. I don't remember anything about it.
I had it the other day, first time I had it, and I did a review of it if y'all saw it. So.
Wait, stop
I've had it several times.
You've had it? Okay, wait. So John's had it several times. Jean, you've had it?
Yeah, that was my first time having it, and I did a review of it when it was my first time. So.
Oh, that was very recent.
Right.
Eric, you've had it. Tanya?
I have not.
Tanya has not. Okay, stop the presses. On the back of the bottle it says serve an anonic pint. Okay, I'll be right back. Change the
What?
Yeah, I had to go back and get a pint glass, but it's not enough.
I'm gonna screw it up and use this wine Stefaner pill.
I got my glass right over here.
Glass, huh?
Well, at least you're not drinking out of a Sam Adams glass.
Right.
This is my glass for tonight. This is my glass for tonight. It's a standard, typical glass. So right here.
I've got a
nothing special
glass that we got last year for their migration week for Bourbon County. So
nice.
They come down here for their migration week and they give away a bunch of glasses, T-shirts, all kinds of stuff. And I got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, my bottle doesn't specifically say, and now I have the new style of the bottle of the labeling, and it says on mine that, and John does too, that it was April 18, 2016 bottled, and it doesn't say specifically where it was bottled. It just says Goose Island Brewing Company, Chicago, Illinois, Baldwinsville, New York, and Fort Collins, Colorado. But I think the older labels said exactly where it was brewed.
See, mine says March 28, 16, DB 26. But if you read up a little bit above that, too, it's a 312 Urban Wheat as an unfiltered ale. A sediment may form.
Correct. I see that. Yeah, mine says BG38. Not sure if that was Baldwinsville, maybe.
I guess I should have looked a little bit at that before we done this. We could look that up.
Yeah.
Mine says BG67. What is that?
February. Mine says February. It has the date. It says February 6th or something. 25th. Cool. Oh, 25th of February. 29th of February. I'm sorry. 29th of February 2016. And they say to have it within 180 days, so I'm within the range. Tanya, you're out of the range, but oh well. What can you do? You can't worry about it.
Can't worry about it.
It's not going to make you sick.
Take this beer, bring it back, and get a new one.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the website here, they're showing the glass that we had. Oh, no, never mind.
I do have one of those glasses, but I decided it's a wheat beer. Use a wheat beer glass.
Now, they're showing the bottle that John and you have. So they've changed the label. Well, they're always doing that. It says light lemon aroma.
Yeah.
My bottle does not say light lemon.
No, this is a wheat beer. It seems by the World Beer Cup and the Great American Beer Festival, they're calling it an English-style summer ale. Never heard of that style.
Crisp and bright flavor shines like city lights on Lake Michigan. Hazy and unfiltered, our award-winning urban wheat ale flavor flows from start to finish.
Nice.
It
what it
won,
says on my
it
bottle.
won a bronze medal in 2008 at the Great American Beer Festival. It won a silver medal in 2008 at the World Beer Cup, English-style summer ale. That's the style. It won a gold medal in 2006, 2007, and 2010. So it's won many medals. It's sold year-round in cans for the last 4 years, bottles, big bomber bottles, the 12-ounce that we have, and on draft. Enjoy within 180 days. They say they use 2-row barley malt and torrefied wheat. The hops are First Gold, Mount Hood, and Cascade. And it does have sediment, and I forgot to switch my bottle. Let me look at the bottom here.
There's a little bit of haze, but not too much sediment as far as I can see.
So,
I'm not getting
any whatsoever.
Okay, well, Tanya, out there in Northern California, since you've never had it, what do you think about it? Have you had other Goose Island beers?
I have. I don't remember which. I think Honker's Ale probably. That's pretty standard, and I don't remember if I've had any of the others.
Okay, so give us your description of the appearance. I guess we all see the same appearance, kind of yellow gold yellow with a pretty decent fluffy head, huh?
Well,
I got no head on mines.
it looks like your traditional wheat. It's kind of hazy also, because you get them wheats and it's hard to see through those wheats. So
Yeah.
it's a hazy golden color, I think.
Almost
Yeah,
like lager.
Mine's hazy. I see suspended powdery sediment and some lazy bubble streams. Okay, so Tanya, go.
Aroma.
All right, one more thing. Tanya is joining us from California, me from Louisiana, Jean from Alabama, Eric from Massachusetts, and John from Indiana, Zone 1. And okay, go ahead. Aroma, yes, Tanya, sorry.
All right, no problem. This is a nice bready, yeasty aroma, slightly spicy, which is kind of nice. That's about all that I get from it. Not very exciting, I guess, but just a little spicy. Makes me want to drink it.
Yeah. Okay, up in New England, Thomas Meadow 75.
It is a very the 312 Urban Wheat Ale. If I smelled this beer, I wouldn't know what a British summer style ale smelled like. So I don't know what that means, but I am getting it's summery. I mean, it's very light aroma. It's got a little bit of that coriander and that clove spice. It's so faint in that smell. You can get that weedy grain type smell. It kind of almost, if I didn't really know what this was, I might think it was some kind of a lager. It kind of has the lager, the crisp, clean lagering type of a scent. Not very sweet and a little bit of banana, but that's really about it. Light notes.
Okay, and by the way, it's 4.2%. We mentioned that, and it's 18 international bitterness units. A lot of these wheat beers would be around 13, or less even. Okay, Zone 1, are you reading me?
Yes, the aroma on this is different than a lot of beers. I mean, it's kind of got that, and I think you said it earlier. It's kind of got that lemony, zesty type smell. It's got that citrusy type aroma to it. I mean, it's a hop forward beer. I think not a lot malt forward beer. Not a lot of hop smell in it, but I think with the combination of what they used in this, the malts and the different hop varieties, I think it's well balanced and it smells terrific to me.
Okay, and the beer and TV ramble, what do you think?
I think the beer, to me, it has that. I'm also smelling a little bit of, for a wheat beer, maybe not much, but just a tad little citrus in this, to me. Maybe a little, like I said, lemon, maybe some grapefruit, just a little bit, not overly, but the wheat does kind of overtake it, you know.
Now, I'm looking on the label. They're showing that tall building used to be called the Sears Tower.
Yes.
I've been up in that building.
I have too.
On a clear day, and you can see 80 miles away. It's something to see.
Wow.
My father wouldn't go up in it. He said, I can see it. I said, but you can go up and look down. He said, well,
That's all you need to hear. I can see it.
I can see the top. I said, all right. But anyway, my assessment, it's like you're saying, but all of y'all, it's very low profile in the aroma. You can pick up some, people are going to say, not again, not again. Yes, I know I said it so many times in my videos because it reminds me of white wheat ale. I mean, white wheat bread. That's actually a brand of bread. You might see it at your local store. It's called white wheat bread. It's a wheat bread, but it's white. It's made by, I think Flowers is a big bread company in America. I think it's Flowers that makes so many different brands, but it smells like that. Oh, maybe there's some lemon, maybe there's some spice, but I'm not really picking that up. Really, to tell you the truth, it's just a very mild, soft aroma. Now we got to go to the most important part.
The taste test.
Yeah, that's what Swillingrog says in Australia. The most.
Cheers.
Cheers, clink.
Prost.
And we got to go to Tanya first.
Wow. The flavor in this is so light. There's almost not a flavor. But it's kind of juicy at the finish. Like a little baby bitterness, a little bit of like yeasty spiciness, but it's so mild. It reminds me actually a lot of a blonde ale.
Excuse me.
Or a light lager.
Hello, John Sharon, or John Walker.
Yes, the Johnny Walker. Prefer the red. Depends on my mood, red or black.
Virginia, the Virginia connection. Okay, now we're going to get to you in a minute, John Walker, but we're letting Tanya finish her taste assessment.
That really just sums it up. I feel like I was expecting a lot more flavor, or at least a beer, like a flavor that I was familiar with. Like I've had a lot of hefts, and I feel like, well, hef and wheat are basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And this flavor is so mild. I actually had to take 2 drinks before I could decide that it had a flavor.
Okay. Okay. Now we're going to get to you, John Walker. Don't you worry, sir. All right, Tanya.
Yeah. Like a little, there's not a Doppelbock, but actually in that style, some of the beers have like what I say is a grapefruit flavor to them. It always reminds me of drinking Manschwitz grape juice at the Jewish Community Center, and it almost has that flavor, but it's so mild. It's so mild. This beer is just really, really subtle. I'm halfway through, and I don't really know what it tastes like.
Now you said it's Manischewitz you talking about?
Yes, Manischewitz.
Manischewitz wine. Cannot stand it.
But just the grape juice for kids.
Oh yeah, they're grape juice. Yeah, they make.
Don't drink Madero wine. That'll screw you up.
Make some food too. Okay, Jean. I'm saying that.
I'm not big. I'm sorry. I cannot. My parents used to serve that wine. I just, growing up, and I remember, sneaking a little bit of a taste. But I said, "Oh, this thing is awful." And then as I grew older, it was still the same. I said, "No way, I'm drinking this crap, man. Let me get something a little dry of a red wine. Now, this is too sweet. This is just no, thank you." Yeah, that's my comment on Manischewitz. So.
Okay, Eric.
Yeah, it definitely is 4.2% in the taste. It's got a light beer type of a mouthfeel. It's actually very smooth and almost silky in a way going down. It has an initial rush of the carbonation, and then it kind of flattens out a little bit to me. It's a pretty dry tasting beer. You know, initially, I'm getting a combination of, I'm getting more lemon in the taste. I'm getting a combination of a lemony flavor and some of the spicy hop variety that's very, very minimal in it, and a little bit of a coriander and clove spice to it, and that is very, very, very faint to it. In some aspects, when the beer finishes, it's almost got a slight yeasty, chalky kind of a thing. I'm not sure how to exactly explain that, but it's got some kind of, the yeast has some kind of a lingering finish to it right before it dries, and that could be some of the hop bitterness as well playing into it. But I think it's a fairly well-balanced beer. There's not one thing in the beer that clashes or fights with anything else, but I would definitely say, as Big Flats, a beer from Walgreens, would say, it's the water that makes the taste in this beer.
John, share in zone 1.
Big Flats. That sounds like Big Flats. That comment right there.
Exactly.
I agree with a lot of what Eric and everybody else has said. You know, the water kind of makes this beer. I mean, it coming in at 4.2%. I mean, that's what you're going to get out of it. It's very light bodied beer. You get a lot of that lemony zest out of it. I think that's from the maybe the hop in it. But I think it's what makes this is the malt in it with that little bit of yeast in the back end. Very sessionable beer, a little overpriced for what it is, I think. But overall, I mean, I think you could drink a lot of these beers if you use them on your yard.
Hell yeah.
But I think overall, I mean, I think they've done a good job with what they put in this beer with kind of the combination of the little bit different malt and the little bit different yeast and a little bit of different hops. I mean, I think it all blends well together. But I'm like Eric, you know, like Big Flat says, the water makes this beer, and it definitely does that. So,
all right, I'll give you my quick impression, and then we'll go to John Walker in Virginia. It has like that wheat bread, that white wheat, but underneath, like there's an undertaste, and I'm noticing it. I noticed it while y'all were talking, and I was listening to you all talk.
Is it not a chalky kind of flavor? I think we're kind of getting the same thing, but I don't know how to describe it.
It's there's a hop note.
Mm-hmm.
Those hops are shining through. That 18 IBU. No, that's not high, but it's a little higher. It's relatively higher for these type of beers. So I'm noticing that in the undertaste. So it's like the upper taste, it's the white wheat bread, and at the same time running underneath is this little spicy hop note. There's which is making it have a little lemon flavor, little there's spiciness, and I guess that's, assume that's coming from the hops. Tanya is drinking one that is too far out of the date range to probably pick up any hop action because it's probably faded away. Yeastiness, maybe. Lemoniness, yes. The mouthfeel to me seems medium and soft. And I think the finish is pretty crisp. It's pretty refreshing, and it's very enjoyable to me. Now, generally I don't like white, any kind of wheat beers, but there are some that are better than normal. And to me, this is one of the ones that's better than normal. I would drink this one actually on purpose instead of just for a review. So, but we'll get to the final part about would you buy it again in a little bit. We want to go to Virginia and see what John's showing us. He couldn't find this beer. He told me privately.
What?
I thought that was an easy to find beer. I thought this pretty well everywhere.
I bet you he didn't do that locator tool. But okay, John Walker.
His
I've
microphone
seen
is.
beer several times, and for some odd reason, the Total Wine near me didn't have it. Whole Foods didn't have it. I checked one other place that normally would have it. They didn't have it. They only had the Pilsner, in the IPA. So that baffled me. And didn't really have time to go check anywhere else. But I checked my, like I live in the nicer part of the craft beer section of Richmond, so it's really weird that I couldn't find it. But what I got is, and I've never had this. I'm sorry, I've never had that beer anyway, so I can't really comment on it. What I will say is, I've noticed that American wheat ales are a whole lot different than Hefeweizens and Belgian Wits.
Yeah.
The one I picked up was Stone's Citrusy Wit.
Nice.
Okay.
This is made right here in Richmond.
I've never seen it. I've never seen that.
Stone beer made in Richmond. All right.
They opened up a new facility. I think this one's made in Richmond.
Interesting.
Stone, I think, has been on tour this year, so they're picking a bunch of different breweries around the United States, and they're doing collaboration brews.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
They opened a brewery here. They set up their East Coast operation here in Richmond.
That's cool.
Big
That's
end.
cool.
Not bad. That's pretty good.
It's about 2 city blocks big. It's big. It's like 4 stories tall. They have like 4 loading bays where trucks are going in and out every day, all day. It's a huge operation. You wouldn't think that's a microbrewery at all. This,
Because it ain't.
it's not. It's Budweiser in 1950 is what it is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
Well, no.
Hey, don't get John Sharon started because he's got.
Budweiser's probably okay. Maybe like a Lone Star or something. But
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the color of it. It's kind of a faded gold.
Similar to the Urban Wheat Ale, definitely.
Yeah, the citrusy pineapple, grapefruit IPAs and stuff. It's really a fad, and I think it's starting to bleed over into like the wits and
Yeah, unfortunately.
other beers, which a couple of them have been really tasty to me, but most of them it's kind of like I'm not buying this again. This one tastes like it says the description is a cleverly twisted wit with tangerine and kaffir lime leaf with coriander infusion. It tastes pretty much like tangerine juice stuffed into a shock top.
Oh, well, that's not too.
It tastes good, but it doesn't taste like beer. It's not really beer, so it just tastes like tangerine juice stuffed into a shock top.
Oh,
It's
man.
not bad.
How much did it cost?
I got the bottle. I think it was $2.09. I think the 6-pack was going for $11, maybe $10.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now, okay, I appreciate you presenting that to us, and if we see it, we'll do reviews on it. Now, Tanya had to go do something. She'll be back, I suppose. We're going to do the part where we say, would you buy it again? Oh, there's Tanya. Tanya, now, would you buy this again?
I will probably buy it again simply because I got one that's out of date, and I want to know if there's any difference. I also wanted to say I feel like this beer is purely about the mouthfeel. It's very carbonated. It's got that kind of silky mouthfeel to it. And I feel like that is where its merits lie. I don't hate it, but I'm not. I think I like darker beers better, generally speaking, and so I don't drink a lot of wheat beers. But if I were going to a wheat beer drinking friend's house, I would probably bring this. And then I'd be like, "Did you totally know this is by an InBev?"
Yeah, you got to tell them after they drink it.
Right after, right?
Wow.
Exactly.
Then they'll say, "Oh, I knew something was wrong with it." All right.
As always is the case, most times, pretty much. Oh, it's made by those guys. Oh, I ain't buying it again.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I don't hate it, and I feel like the question has always been like, is Goose Island a good beer? And I have a lot of good beer drinking friends, and they liked it. and I think that they've all continued buying Goose Island after it changed over, and you know, and don't hate it. So they're still making good beers.
Yeah. And John Walker, you're doing a good job. I don't know. John Walker always tells me that I'm doing a terrible job. I stink at this. No, you don't. We don't agree with that. If you stunk at it and you did a terrible job, you just would notice that you never would.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I'm forgetful.
How come I never get these invites anymore? That's what you would notice. No, we would still.
Yeah, right.
You do a good job, Tanya. That's some good comments. And now we're going to go to Eric on the other side of the United States. So we're on the West Coast. Now we're going to the East Coast. Would you buy it again, Eric?
That bottle was $1.88 just for the single bottle.
$1.88.
And John Sharon was talking about it sort of a little overpriced, and maybe for the 6-pack it might be a little overpriced what you get from it. It's just a very light. It's unlike any other wheat beer that I've had. It doesn't have an extreme amount of a wheat beer of the wheat malt aspect. It's just very plain and sort of it's not really that exciting of a drinking experience, although, I mean, I am drinking a Coors Banquet now, but I guess in the same regard, sometimes you're not looking for a really excitingly, hip and exciting in a crazy beer drinking experience. You just want to drink something, and I think if you like light beers and macro lagers, you might like that Urban Wheat. For me, it's just a little bit too plain and not too much going on for it to be a wheat beer that I would run out and buy again. I think the Bros gave it a 79, and I think that's a good rating for the Urban Wheat.
Okay. John Sharon, Zone 1.
Well, and like I said, I think it's a little overpriced for what it is. And
yeah, $9.79 is a little high. Yeah.
And I paid a little bit less than that for mine, but I think you could buy a 6-pack of beer a little bit better at a comparable price. But would I buy this beer again? Yeah, because this beer's on tap everywhere in Chicago, and I've never had it as many years as we've gone up there to Chicago. But I think next time I go, I'm gonna try it on tap just to see if there's any difference in it. And yeah, I mean, if I was going somewhere, I'm like Tony. If I was going somewhere, we was having some kind of wheat fest, I'd take it to let people try, because I think this is a safe beer.
Right, John.
If that makes sense for people to try. It's an enjoyable beer, just a slightly bit overpriced, I think.
Wouldn't scare people off that are trying to get into craft beer.
No, it would not scare people off. That's why I use that comment, safe beer. And I'd like to focus back on Tanya a little bit. I know your beer's a little outdated, but I bet 99.9% of the time you buy your outdated beer, you're going to waste your money buying a new beer, because I don't think you're going to tell a bit of difference in this beer.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There it is. Amen.
And I would believe that.
I feel like that's very true unless you're going for a super hoppy beer that they're trying to showcase fresh hops, because that has a pretty short shelf life. But I feel like for the most part, a wheat ale or I don't know, most other beers for that matter, high alcohol content beers that you can cellar, that doesn't apply to. But I feel like when they say explicitly that you should drink it within 180 days or whatever, like the Stone and Joy by, that they know what they're trying to share with you. Whether or not I can tell the difference, definitely is up for negotiation. But I feel like I want to hit that mark because I want to see it at its prime for them, what they think is its prime.
But from what I've heard everybody else on the panel say with their fresher beers, and you with the outdated beer, I mean, everybody's pretty well got that same conglomerate that there's not much difference in what anybody's drinking.
Normally, beer is freshest within 120 days.
Yeah.
After that's when you really start to notice the taste difference. At least that's what they told us at the distributorship.
Okay. I like it fresh. Now, before Jean comes on to give us his assessment, when Maria Devon and I went to the brewery in Utica, FX Matt. We were drinking at Utica Club, and Utica Club Light. It was so good, man.
Really? I've heard horror stories about that.
Yeah, I had it once out of a bottle, and it was a horror story. And I was ripping on it and talking so bad about it. And then, well, I think I gave it a C, which in my book is bad because you know how I rate beers too high anyway. So,
bye, Sean.
Oh, I'm sure his technology just failed. He'll be back. It happened. You know that happens with him sometimes.
Yeah.
But we drank those 2 cans fresh at the brewery. Oh, man, we were so pleased with it. And then we drank a whole bunch more beer at that same brewery. Okay, now, people were looking at us like, uh-oh. Now, anyway, we had fun. We didn't care. We had fun. All right, now, it was so fascinating. All right, now, I would buy this again. It's only $8.99 a 6-pack here, okay? We're not paying these $9 a 6-pack. So $8.99, I mean, that is $9. We're not paying $10, $11 a 6-pack.
That'll be bad.
I caught myself. $8.99 is about what it is here, okay? It's probably cheaper by the 12-pack down here. It's probably like, yeah, it's like $15.99 or $14.99 for the 12-pack here. It's not a bad deal in Louisiana, and we don't have to pay deposit. And
well, that's good.
Yeah, because
$9.99 in Mobile.
Yeah, because we don't pay any such thing as deposit around here anymore. I think back in the 1970s there was something about that, but that died out long ago.
Good.
But you just pay the price plus tax, which is about 10%. Okay. Last thoughts. I would buy it again. It's easy drinking. It's better than most wheat beers I've tried. I like it more than Blue Moon. I like it more than Shock Top. It wouldn't interfere with the flavor of food. My problem with wheat beers is that yeast, because those are Hefeweizens, that it kind of it interferes with the taste of the food I find. I agree that Blue Moon has more interesting flavor. To me, Blue Moon tastes soapy. Soapy. Yeah, I remember Tanya was
yeah.
video you were talking about that?
I know, I think it's soapy. Anyway, sorry. I was replying to that comment. I didn't mean to interrupt. But since I did, can I say something else?
Okay, I took the last go. You start talking. I would buy it again. You say something else. Then John's going to tell us if he would buy it again. Let's all disagree that Blue Moon is gross. No, I'm not going to agree with that. I agree that it's dull. I'm not going to say gross. Tanya, you go, and then Jean, I'll be back with my exciting beer of the night.
All right, you were talking about drinking a beer fresh at the brewery, and it made me realize I've had a ton of draft wheat beers, and then wheat beer, and then draft beers that are poured directly at the breweries, draft wheat, and they are much better fresh. Now that I think about it, and I don't know that that's a comparison to this one as much, or a comparison to a fresh beer versus a bottle beer. But that makes a big difference. Fresh beer makes a big difference. It's a different flavor change. It's, to me, like organic versus conventional, but we'll get into that another time. Anyway, that's my comment. All right, John.
Yeah, real quick, I didn't really think much of it, and you probably saw my review. I didn't really think much of the beer. I thought it was okay. I thought it was great, but of the wheat beers I've had, the ones I had I thought I really liked was the Summer Wheat by Yingling, and I thought that was very, very, very good. And
I've had that.
I really gave it a very high mark on that. And I mean, look, there's nothing against this beer. I think this beer is okay. I think it's perfect for this time of year right now, where we're in right now. I'm sure all of you, we're all facing this oppressive heat.
Yep.
And so this beer, like this, would be perfect. So would be a lager or a pilsner, but it's, it's ho-hum to me, in my opinion. So would I buy it again? I paid about $1.79 for this at Rouse's for this beer, so probably would, but again, it'd be something just, to kick back, but it's not be something that'd be an everyday beer for me.
I think I paid $1.39 for my single at Martin Wine Cellar.
Okay.
Twice the nuts.
I know, but I like the suppressive heat. Let me just make this comment. It
it was 97 degrees today, okay? I was working in that warehouse. I was sweating.
You liked it.
I was lifting up 60-pound bags of rice and all kind of heavy stuff all day. I don't have to go to a club because I get to work out every day.
Mm-hmm.
I get to work out when I go to work. Look at Tanya. She's showing
72 degrees here.
Of course, Tanya. Northern California is always perfect out there. It's always perfect in Northern California.
Sometimes it's oppressively hot, but when I complain about it, it's like not 100% humidity everywhere else, and I'm like, okay, fine.
But I went walking a half a mile today at what time was it? At 2:45, when the sun was shining down. It was 97 degrees, and I was thinking, it's hot. It is so hot. But I said, you know what? I don't mind the heat. I can go inside. It'll be air conditioned. But to me, it's like when the heat is on like that, 97 degrees. And I was cutting the grass yesterday. I was outside for an hour. You know how wet I was when I came. But I just liked it. Okay, I liked it. All right. Okay, I'm sorry. I liked it.
Let me throw this out there as a comment, just see if there's anybody that's going to go, "Oh, you're crazy." But let's talk about this for a second. Okay, look how many professional teams you got in Chicago, right? Baseball, football, and whatever.
Yeah.
So you've got to come up with a beer that's going to compete in the heat or inside of football stadium or whatever.
Old style.
With Anheuser-Busch, with Miller Lite, with Old Style or Schlitz, whatever.
Hams beer.
At 4.2%, you know, you're sitting out in the heat. To me, I mean, I've never hit it. I'm a Miller Lite drinker. I would probably buy this if it was 90 degrees. That's in the ballgame over a Miller Lite or a Bud Light or probably even an Old Style or a Schlitz because it's got just a little bit more of that lemony zest. It's got a little bit more flavor to it. It's, you know, I mean, I think this is everywhere in Chicago. You know, it's kind of like Mickey's is in New Orleans. It's everywhere. You know, so
Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox.
But you know, I mean, it's a beer that's going to compete with the big beers that sponsor everything. So
John Sharon was like saying, "What's up with this Mickey's?" We were in New Orleans and everybody had Mickey's, so you didn't mind with it, did you?
Like Mickey's White Mouth, Mickey's.
Yeah. Fine malt liquor.
Or whatever. Oh, the nice.
My grandfather would love New Orleans. Then that's all he drank.
I drank that as a kid.
Cases at the store every other week.
Mickey's is everywhere here in Mobile.
Agreed.
Actually, they sell Mickey's at some bar rooms in New Orleans for $2 a bottle, and there's a store right in the New Orleans area that sells Mickey's 6-packs for $3.99 a 6-pack. Yes, sir. Glad.
$4.99 a 6-pack here. Well worth the $4.99.
There's
$3.99.
$4.99 here.
What if you could
There's
get
a restaurant in downtown.
$3.99? Oh, I'm sorry, we're talking at the same time. Let me say mine and then John.
You
What
first.
if you could get it for $3.99?
No, ours is $4.99 a 6-pack here.
So what if you could get it for $3.99?
Oh, I'd buy it more, but I buy quite a bit now. So
Okay, now John Walker. And then I'm going to show you all my special beer, John Walker.
There's a couple of restaurants downtown that says sell Colt 45 for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, John, guess what I got to show you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's about to get
Go ahead,
real.
OJ.
It's about to
It's about to
get
get real.
Anyway, before it gets too real, and I'm drinking this beer. You saw this thick white head. You see this golden straw appearance. You see these bubbles.
Uh-oh.
Bubbles.
The
Is that
aroma
America
on this-
beer?
The aroma, don't mock me. The aroma on this beer,
Hail America.
the aroma on this beer is clean. It's bright. And the flavor.
Does it taste like the Stars and Stripes Forever?
The flavor's refreshing. There's a little,
Liberty.
focus on the word little, a little bitty tiny hop balancing bitterness, really. You know what I mean? Balanced. The flavor is watery. There's a little malt. But you know what? For 3.5% alcohol and only 83 calories, it's pretty refreshing. You can drink these, and I can get them for $11.76 for a 24-pack. This beer's okay. I mean, I was shocked because I thought it was going to be so horrendous.
Rockdale.
What
are you drinking?
Uh-oh.
Did you say what it was?
How did you guess that it was Rockdale Light?
Ah, wait. You guessed the type?
John,
Right.
He's been drinking on that thing for several days now.
Well, you know what? I think next week I'm kind of debating the week. You know, whether I'm going to get the Jenny Light, and I put that last night on the message. Jenny Light, which is a 30-pack for $18.99 at this package store, or get the Rockdale Light, the 24-pack, which is I think it's about 13 something for a 24-pack for Rockdale Light, just to see what the difference is. I might do a review of both of them, just kind of decide which one I should get.
Blind taste challenge.
Both.
Yeah.
it's $11.76 for the case here. It tastes okay. It keeps me slim and trim because it's not too many calories.
Designated driver, son.
Never mind that logo.
Yeah, you're not the designated driver.
Never mind that logo that happened to be on
It
my
looks like you've been eating at a banquet.
So anyway, yeah, Eric, I agree that Eric is saying that the Coors Banquet has more body. I'm sure it does since it's 5% alcohol and it's 145 calories, whereas this other one isn't. Now, yeah, you got your Billy D. Williams.
I got it, John. There you go, John Walker.
Yeah,
I'll find those cans.
Lando.
That's what. Yeah.
Now we're going to shut this down because it's getting too ridiculous, but I'm going to let you know what's coming up. I'm going to let people know what's coming up next week. This could be a problem. It might only be me on this because
I got it with you.
we got Birra Moretti La Rosa.
Hold on.
That is an awesome Doppelbock from Rome, Italy. 7.2% alcohol.
I might be able to get that.
I'm making a trip to Fairhope, I guess, maybe over the weekend to get that. As you told me, Jay, you told me it's out there at the Piggly Wiggly in Fairhope. So
Yeah, there's a locator tool on the
I
import.
used to deliver beer in Moretti.
Yeah, this is the La Rosa now. This is not the original. It's the La Rosa. Now, if you go to Italy, there's like 20 other variants.
Nice.
There's like 20 other ones that we of course we can't get. There's all kind of a wheat beer. There's a
They're owned by Heineken.
huh?
Yes,
The
Heineken.
company is owned by Heineken.
That's right.
Under the Heineken Amstel umbrella.
Yeah, they were bought out around 10 years ago by Heineken Italy. Then in 2 weeks we're looking at Sierra Nevada Summerfest.
That stuff's good.
I saw that at Rouse's.
The Summerfest Crisp Lager.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had a 6-pack of that too.
And then at the end of the month, Maria Devon, she came up with the idea to examine, and I think Eric also,
Yeah.
Saison DuPont.
Sweet.
Woo!
Then on August 3rd, get ready, this is pretty earth-shattering, August 3rd, we have Michelob Ultra Lime Cactus.
Oh.
Oh, speaking of lime beers, I got this for a penny.
Lime Cactus.
I got this for a penny.
That's a way to lose friends in the beer community.
Penny?
How much for what, John Walker?
A penny.
Bud Light Lime. Okay.
Both of them for a penny.
And then
Over July 4th weekend, they were doing a sale. If you buy 2 12-packs of Bud Light and Budweiser, you get a Bud Light Lime for a penny.
sounds
Damn.
fair.
What the hell?
Then
Yeah,
on August 10th, this could be really problematic, but if you get a hold of it, I bet you'll be happy. John Sharon knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Old Tankard Ale.
Oh,
I can get that.
man.
Who is it? What?
Pabst Beer Old Tankard Ale.
Old Tankard. I don't think I can get that.
They got a store locator on their website.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
totally
delicious
blocked out.
if you're into English-style beers.
Sweet.
That beer is so good. I've been drinking on it and thinking on it and enjoying on it. Okay, well, I guess we pretty much did a number on this 312. But just think of all, Pabst Old Tankard Ale. There's a website for it. There's a website. But just think of all the other exciting beers we can do in the upcoming year. We could do Leinenkugel's beers. We can do, nobody wants to do enchiladas, but
Nope.
John Sharon.
I can do it, Chilada.
Okay.
Hey, actually, down here in one of my beer refrigerators, I've actually got that Tecate freaking one.
Oh, the Tecate Michelada?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whatever we do,
That's made with paprika.
whatever we
It's
do,
candy.
yeah. Whatever we do, let's not do Not Your Father's any beer.
Please, don't make me jump off the roof. I don't want to do self-injury.
I
But
poured
you know-
half of
you
a
know-
bottle of the 10% version out over the
You
weekend.
know, something we ought to really look at, and I've reviewed it, and I think I know Jay's done it. I don't know about the rest of you. We ought to look at St. Ides.
You know what's really weird? You said St. Ides when I was looking at the can.
St. Ides. Forget
I
it.
I would have to have somebody send me a bottle of it from Jersey, because it's the only place I know I can get it.
I can get
No,
it.
that's go
I've
back
always
to
done it one
Southern
place. in
Maryland.
Louisville.
I can't get St. Ides for the last 20 years, sir.
I'll do it with you.
Jay,
Oh, man, me and St. Ides used to run together so close. We used to be so close.
It's good. It's a good malt to me. I thought it was good. I mean, not as better as Hurricane, but it was good.
Inspired by the movie In the Hood, you gotta pour one out for your homies.
what about High Gravity Colt 45?
St. Ides was 6% when I used to run with it. Then it jumped it up to 8% and chased me away.
I think we've done Colt 45.
Did Coke 45 before, but we'll see.
I said High Gravity Colt 45.
Now wait now.
That's a rare bird.
I can get that. I can get that in Mobile. One spot I can get that at.
Talk about the Coke 45 high gravity. I can tell you stories about that.
We can brainstorm later, I guess.
Yeah.
We can brainstorm later. All right. Thank you, folks, for watching this video production of a beer that's going on 30 years. It's almost to the 30th anniversary of 28 years now. A pretty interesting beer. You know, everybody wasn't exactly like flabbergasted about it, but oh well, it was nice to look at, I suppose. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So, well, that's it. So, good night.
It's a
See ya.
wrap.
Good
Good
night.
evening, world.
Good evening, world. Bye. Thank you for
See,
watching.
we've just now been able to get